Good morning, traders. Today is Tuesday, March 1st. My name is Charles, and this is the Pirate Traders live stream. All right, what are we looking at here today? Well, yesterday was just a rotational day, pretty much inside Friday's range. We looked a little bit above, but didn't get much excess there. Created a weak high, actually. And then the overnight just kind of rotated around in that same range once again. So this is a sign of balance, right? This is a sign that there's no clear leadership in the market. The market's trying to figure out where it wants to go next, and it's just not sure yet. So first and foremost, the fact that we're opening today inside of yesterday's range, and in particular in between the POC of yesterday and the POC of Friday, I expect we're going to get some chop early this morning. I would expect the market to grind up and down, and then we'll basically just see, it's a pretty tight range. Actually, as a matter of fact, I'll probably switch back to one tick increments as well. But let's see how it handles this resistance here, and let's see how it handles this support here as it grinds up and down for that first hour today. Which of the two is it able to break through? I'll be looking for continuation in that direction. So if they can get through this node to the upside, I'll be targeting the overnight high. Can they get up to that overnight high? Is there resistance up there? There should be, because there's a lot of single prints, multiple basis single prints. So there is some resistance there. Can it get through that resistance? Obviously, if it can, that would be an excellent buy for continuation higher. And then same thing down here. If we get through this node right here between like 39 and 24, if we get through that, I would be targeting the repair of the poor low that we left behind yesterday, and then just looking to monitor for continuation from there. So if the market pushes down, does it just repair and then pull right back up, or does it repair, get resistance, and then look for continuation lower? Okay. All in all, it feels bullish to me that the market is grinding around here. It seems like what we're trying to do is break through the resistance on the downtrend in the daily. So this isn't like a super exact downtrend line, but just somewhere in this general area, there is resistance, right, on the larger trend. So the market's got to get through that before it gets its next big pop higher and then come back down and find support. You can see it, what got through here, and it got the pop, but when it came back down, it got no support. So we need to break out of that downtrend and then come back down and back test it. That will be what gets us back to all-time highs. So it feels like right now that's the first order of business. Can we break through that downtrend to the upside? And getting through the overnight high from last night and then finding support up there would be doing exactly that. Pushing up, coming back down, finding some buyers in here would be good for continuation higher. Okay. So first order of business this day, let's just watch the market chop and figure out who's in charge, the bulls or the bears. Also, of course, there is door number 3, which would be another day of rotation like this one. Maybe we trade down to here, look for support in there, and then rotate in here. Very doable as well. Okay, market is open. Just going to take a quick look at the VIX to see where that's at. There we go. Yeah, I think I'm going to stay in 2-tick increments. All right, good morning, Diego. Chris Yee in the house. Ronald is here. Good morning to you. David Glass, good to see you. Jeremy Jones back with us. Good morning. Philip is here. Dean in the house. CCT, good morning to you. Jay Trader is here. Amir is with us. Nor Auto Trader, good to see you. Welcome. Good morning, America. Good morning, America. Trading Donkey, that mirrored my analysis in Discord perfectly. Mirrored as in being the same or being exactly the opposite, being the invert. Slim Jim, welcome. Happy to have you. CCT, good morning. Well, there you go. The donkey and the pirate are in line. We think we got to break through the resistance above. Break on through to the other side. Mick Stockster in the house. Good morning, sir. Oh, yeah, getting that chop back down to the opening price. They went up and they tested that resistance. Now they got to go down and test that support. Chop City. There is really not much overnight inventory to absorb. We opened pretty neutral. Yeah, look at that. Just a few points off from the open. Already got the counter action. Trading Donkey, I'm actually leaning more toward another LAAF. What's an LAAF? Oh, look above and fail. That's what it would be. Yeah, so you think we're going to test that resistance and do what we did the last time? Poke above it like that, but then when we come back down, we won't find support. We'll see. We shall see. Alex, did I see that Bitcoin went up 20%? No way. 20% is a decent day. Jesus, you're right. Whew. The only disappointing thing about this that I saw, though, like 2 days ago or whatever, the exchanges between ruble and Bitcoin have gone through the roof. So this is Russians getting out of the Russian currency into the corn. All right, well, we're starting to push through the resistance above. So that is the first sort of bullish thing to see. Obviously, we're not through it yet. But that is bullish to see. So if we can get up here and clearly break above, what I'm looking at is this node here and this node here in the overnight. If we can clearly break above there, come back down and find some support, I'd be willing to buy that to head back up and repair the poor high that we left behind yesterday and see what happens when we test the base of those single prints. But I would first need to see us break through the resistance and then come back down and find support there before I'd buy it. Otherwise, it could just be chop, right? Chop up, chop down. Donkey closing his wheat long. Was wheat still pumping? I don't even know the ticker for wheat. Can somebody tell me in the chat, what's the ticker for wheat? ZW. Holy scheisse. Yeah, dude. That's a straight up hyperwave right there. That's a bubble. But they did break out, come back down, retest the previous high. Parabolic. There's 92 people here watching the chop. Only 27 have pushed that thumbs up. If you can see it in your heart, if you can feel it in your soul, to say, thumbs up, pirate. You're an all right dude. We think you're okay. I sure would appreciate it. Donkey still think it can run? Oh yeah, it can run. Like I said, it's in a hyperwave. It could run, man. There's no doubt about it. It could keep going. It could keep going for months. But at this point, you'd rather be a seller than a buyer. Unless we retest 8,750. Or I guess 875. Alex, what is a bollock and why do they always come in pairs? Is that a joke or I don't know if you want me to actually answer that or if this is like a language barrier thing. Parabolic. Parabolic is one word that just means going up with a lot of velocity. Um, but it's a great question. Who are these bollocs and why are they always in pairs? Oil's over 100. Yeah, there's another one going pair. It's got a pair of bollocks over here. That one looks good for continuation as well. Alex, you're Merkin. No language barrier. Ain't no language barrier here. Okay, we all speak Merkin and we all like donuts. Period. And the chop continues. Not enough buyers just yet. Pulling back to bring in a few more. Trading Talk, you don't like donuts. I don't know if I've ever heard anybody say that. There's not a single flavor that interests you? Trading Donkey. Rules of the donkey. Sugar is poison. Cocaine is magic. Alex, I just learned in a documentary that donut shops are owned by Cambodians. Like people from Cambodia? Interesting. Never would have thought. I always assume whenever I see donut shops, I always assume it's a money laundering operation. RK, prepare for the onslaught. You think we're going to dump? You think these buyers are weak hands and they're going to get squeezed? I will say they need to get something for it soon. They need to break through this resistance or they're going to give up eventually. Alex said is actually a pretty cool story. Like, one guy figured it out, it worked for him, and he brought all his friends along. That's great. That is the American dream. So just to kind of reiterate what I was just talking about a moment ago, every time we've pushed up into this resistance so far this morning, we've pulled back down into support. Okay, so there have been buyers every time we get back down above that opening price. The buyers are stepping in and they're trying to push it up again. And then it comes down and they're stepping in and they're trying to push it up again. So the resistance should be getting weaker and weaker with every poke. So meaning one of these pokes, they should be able to break through and then get a little pop higher. But if they can't, if they keep pulling down to here and then poking up and they just can't get through that resistance, eventually those buyers, the people who keep buying here, will give up. They'll be like, oh, screw it, and they'll let the trade go. As soon as they do, we get a little pop lower, and then stronger hand buyers step in to give it another try. So just keep in mind, if they don't get anything for it, if these buyers keep trying to take the market higher and they can't, they will get squeezed and will pull back down into support down here. And it feels like that's what's about to happen right now. So you see how the tempo just immediately picked up, how quickly it started to fall as soon as we passed below below the opening price. That's the panic, right? There you go. More panic, right? More people going, oh, I got to get out of this long. I'm wrong. More panic. So the smarter buyers are waiting down here. All morning they've known this is where the overnight ran out of sellers. This is where I want to be a buyer. They've been waiting. The stronger hands, lurking, looking to go long and continue the chop. Day trader, the American dream is making a lot of money day trading at home in your underwear. Well, I get dressed every day. I don't do it in my underwear. That really is part of my routine, though, to get dressed every day like I'm going to a regular job just to keep me sane. But no, that is not the American dream, because remember, 90% of the people that set out to do that fail. That is not the American dream. The American dream implies that it's doable. That if the average person puts in the effort, they can be successful. But that is not the case with trading. Definitely not. Jay Trader, I wear shorts when I short. So you switch to long pants when you want to go long? You don't feel like that slows down the process? That's a fun question to throw out there right now to everyone in the chat. Is there anyone in here that has a weird superstition thing they do? Like if you remember from that little video I made about Paul Tudor Jones. Man, I had a brain fart there. That little video about Paul Tudor Jones where like when he's in a position and it's going against him, he puts on like his lucky sneakers. Do you guys have any lucky sneakers or anything like that? Let me know, chat. We're just watching shop anyway. This market's going nowhere. Let's have a talk. What are your trading superstitions? Herman's here. Hello to you. Phoenix in the house. Howdy to you. Kalina, why are you guys surprised it pulled back? Nobody's surprised. I've got arrows drawn on the chart. Of course we expect pullback. It's chop. That's what they do. They chop it up. They chop it down. They chop it all around until they break through support or resistance. Trading donkey. Now, is this a trade by trade basis or like for the day? McStockster goes outside to play with his dogs when he gets nervous. That's actually a great habit to have. Playing with your dogs would bring down the the hormones in your brain. So that's actually really good. Jeremy Jones, is it rare for B period to stay trapped inside of A period? We call that an inside bar. And it happens, I would say, less than 10% of the time. And it's just a further sign of uncertainty. Amir, pipes clear, trade without fear. Sounds like a t-shirt. All right. Well, now will the area just above the opening price that was acting as support earlier as we were trying to work our way up, does that become resistance here? All right, it appears it is becoming resistance, so we're looking for a pullback here. Remember, every time those buyers try to do that, every time they try to step in here around the opening price and break through and they fail, they get weaker and weaker. Okay, poor low in the B period. We expect the market to push away from the poor low and then come back later to repair it. If it immediately repaired, which it did not, but if it had, that would have been more bearish. RK, I used to do that when I was on the West Coast, man. I used to get up at like 4:30 was my wake up time to be able to like meditate, work out, do all the things I need to do in the morning before the market opened. But then I was like going to bed at like 8 p.m. at night like a grandpa. That is one nice thing about the East Coast. I can stay up late. I can go out to bars. All right. Well, B period is still poor. Still in need of repair. So as I said, we could find support anywhere in this node of volume where the overnight found it. And then both indices also have that 20 moving average on the 15-minute candles. That could act as support as well. RK. Hard to party with the models and get up at 4:30. I know, I know. I was just such a diligent person. I chose to turn down the models. Like they wanted to party. They were like, "Charles, we want to party with you late into the night." And I was like, "Girls, no. Take your beautiful selves home. I'd rather go to bed by myself." McStockster, I can get to the desk 30 minutes before open and be fine. Oh, yeah. Now I can literally wake up, sit right up, look at my computer a minute before the market opens, and I'm fine. But I don't trade at peak performance when I'm like that. Following the morning routine keeps me at my best. All right, Donkey. Good luck, brother. 7 Mile from Australia, where it's 2 a.m. Welcome, brother. Good day. Good to have you. Man, what a boring morning. Just no leadership in the market. So remember, the push away from the poor low was just another attempt to try to get through that resistance that got smacked down. The more and more it happens, the less and less the buyers want to buy. The weaker the market becomes. All right, there's a repair of the poor low. Sanju, the red appearing around 43, 49 are sellers probably. Well, they were buyers, right? But now they're becoming sellers. The support is becoming resistance. Okay, so once again, I'm looking for support here between like 42 and 29. If we find support in there, I'll be looking for a rotation to poke back up at this resistance once again above. If we can't find support and we start to break lower, particularly if we get below the overnight low, which is at about 22, I would then target, I'd be short to target a repair of the weak M period low and then the poor low from yesterday. But only if we broke this support first, because there should be buyers waiting in here for the rotation back up. That is the first order of business. Scooball, hello to you. Welcome. Scooball, a little late today. That's correct. You've missed nothing. Lamus, also with us. Good to see you. All right, buyers stepping in. Looks like we're getting more chop. They're starting to find support as soon as they push into this node. That is a sign they likely will. Overnight better than the regular trading hours? Doing the exact same thing right now. They're literally doing exactly the same thing. All right, well, it feels like that's good support, so I think the chop will continue. We will now go ahead and head back up to test that resistance above. I'm going to put us into a neutral state here, as I am confident that there is no leadership in the market. This is just price exploration. No one knows where it's going to go just yet, so they're picking each other's pockets. I still think the best opportunity is trading a break below the overnight low short or a break above the current A period high that comes back down and finds support long. Those are the better probability scenarios. As long as we're chopping around in the middle, it'll be very difficult to guess where to go long or short, as it'll just chop up and down. Slim Jim, what platform do you use? Well, I use TradingView for taking trades, but the one that you're looking at on screen right here, this is software that's called Market Profile. It is Market Profile software. It's called Window Trader. There's a link in the description. CCT, in this kind of chop situation, will you normally waiting for still trying trading? Yeah. When it's chopping like this, I don't even have my brokerage account open. Like, I don't even care. There's no way to know what the market's going to do until it picks a direction. Or if the chop lasts long enough that we get cessation, right? So like, let's say C period prints, it comes down here, finds some support, rotates back up, and then it gets a couple ticks above the B period high. Well, then that's cessation of one time framing. That's a signal that the market is officially rotational. And then I would start taking rotational trades. I'd look to go long below the POC and short above it. But until we've established what the market is doing today, it's gambling. It's just guessing inside this range. So I will just sit by patiently and wait. And if you're saying to yourself, well, Charles, don't you get frustrated sitting here for hours just watching the market move up and down, knowing it's finding support and not buying it? Nope, I feel nothing. I have learned that the better feeling comes from waiting for confirmation and getting into a higher probability trade than the positive feeling from gambling, guessing, and being right. So I have no problem spending hours waiting for an opportunity. Make no mistake, the people trading the chop are the amateurs. The weakest of hands. Yeah, Sanju, what I'm trying to explain is that it's not really discipline anymore. It was at first. Teaching myself not to trade the chop at first required discipline, but now it's almost the opposite. It's like I don't have to be disciplined. The easier thing is letting the market do its thing and being patient. So it's not, I wouldn't describe it as discipline anymore. I would describe it as like, I don't know, like a standard operating procedure. I just don't even look for a trade until I have an idea what the market is doing. And I don't know what the market is doing during chop. So it's just like natural. Alex, I didn't come here to be attacked. It's said with love, bro. It's said with love. Your hands are weak. CCT, really dislike the feeling of trading and holding positions against the trend. Well, then you are a trend trader, my friend, and there's nothing wrong with that. Lots of money to be made trading trends. Alex, I got in at the value area low, the overnight value area low, and took profits at the POC. That's a great trade. That's a great chop trade. Just not for me. Sanju, yeah, you're absolutely right. It started as discipline, and now it's just become habit. Alex, you got to accept who you are. Absolutely. Now, every, what they would describe as smart money trader out there, those are basically the people who are disciplined and follow their rules and so on and so forth. They started as weak hands too. Everyone's got to learn. Nunez, Charles, are you proud of us? I am. It actually really does make me feel good when one of you guys who, like, a couple months beforehand had no clue what was going on, suddenly start pointing out profile references to me. Like, well, don't you think that overnight high is weak or whatever? And then I'll be like, oh my God, my young Padawan, you're learning. I love it. Trading McStockster hit the button of Dalton talking about backing a car out of a driveway. Yep, that's exactly it. Chunking, muscle memory. And yes, he uses that example a lot. Some divergence in the Q and ES. Let's take a look at the Q. We haven't looked at that yet today. Okay, so yeah, you've got your B period completely engulfing your A period. So that is another signal of uncertainty. It's hard to read a specific signal from that. But I would say it's doing the exact same thing that the ES is doing. It's just a little more bullish. But it is still rotating inside the overnight range, trying to break through the resistance. But I would say they're on their way here on the Q. If they can turn halfback into support now, they could take another push up to try to get above that overnight high. So look for support around 14, maybe 210. And see if the buyers step in there for another push higher. Chitin could see ES go zip, zip. Yep, that's true. If the NQ suddenly breaks out to the upside and gets, some volume, pushes above, comes back down, starts to build some support, that can definitely pull the ES with it. So let's wait and see. What does it do? All right, ladies and germs, there's not much insights I can give you moving forward here as we begin to print the C period, other than what I've already said, which is if we break that overnight low, look for continuation to the downside, at the very least to repair yesterday's poor low. So if we get below 43.23, look for the market to try to get below 43.10, and then there could potentially be support there. I mean, really anywhere in here. There's a very real potential we could be forming a balance area that would look something like this. So from here to here is pretty high probability, but then you just see how much further you can get from there. Where does it find support inside of here? And then, as I said, to the upside, if we can get above the current high, come back down and find support, I would happily buy for continuation to the upside. And then monitor to see, in particular, if we can get above 44.02, get above the base of the single prints down from the 17th, that would be even more bullish, that I think would give us a good pop higher. But as long as it's grinding around in the middle here, I just got to wait. Wait for more information. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for the 64 likes. If you haven't pushed that thumbs up, there's nothing wrong with doing it on your way out. The pirate would appreciate. Have a great rest of your day, and we will see you here tomorrow morning. Brigade members, let's ride.